We return now to more stories on the death of the former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan. World leaders have continued to pour honor and commendations on the memory of the former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan. In separate tweets, they paid glowing tribute to one of the world's most beloved diplomats. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres described Kofi Annan as the guiding force for good, whose legacy as a global champion for peace will remain a true inspiration for us all. UK Prime Minister Theresa May called him a great leader and reformer of the United Nations who made a huge contribution to making the world he has left a better place than the one he was born into. The Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's words, Kofi Annan didn't just talk about building a more just and peaceful world. He dedicated his life to doing it, and the world is a better place because of him. It's now up to all of us to carry his work forward. French President Emmanuel Macron and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi also eulogized the late global icon, saying that he will always be remembered for his significant contributions to world peace. In the meantime, more tributes are pouring in for the late Kofi Annan. Nigeria's former Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema, says that Mr. Kofi Annan has left a gap that will take a while to fill.
He understood the dynamics of the UN from all aspects: administration, in which he'd worked, and peacekeeping, which is one of the most important aspects of the UN. And his impact was great. He obviously also understood the limits of the power of the UN, because at the end of the day, it was really up to the member states, and the UN was really a forum for member states. So its power derived from whatever the member states gave it. But understanding all that and the workings of the UN, he was able to achieve a great deal. First and foremost, he was a perfect gentleman, a true diplomat, and that, of course, made him very acceptable to world leaders. And he was extremely effective in different areas, peacemaking and also in humanitarian activities.
Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Geoffrey Onyema. What would have been another tragedy was averted on the Otedola Bridge end of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway this morning as a fuel tanker lost control after overtaking a stationary truck before vying off the road. The timely intervention of emergency response officials, however, calmed the situation as another explosion would have occurred. But the incident degenerated into a gridlock as motorists were stopped from moving until the situation was put under control and the truck evacuated. The accident is coming barely 2 months after several people were killed and no fewer than 50 vehicles burnt in a tanker fire explosion on the same bridge. In the meantime, rescue efforts have come to a close at the site of a building collapse in the Jabi district of Abuja, leaving one person dead, another in critical condition, and 5 others rescued. This is according to the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mustapha Maihaja. When the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, visited the scene last night, he instructed that rescue efforts must continue to find survivors. Our correspondent Kayla Megwa reports.
Searching for bodies in the rubble. In the afternoon on Friday, the 17th of August, 2018, this building collapsed, leaving many trapped inside. Officials say an emergency call to the FCT Emergency Management Agency alerted them to the situation.
We got a call through our emergency number 112 and telling us about the building collapse. And so we rushed here. We were able to rescue 6 people, and 1 was fatally injured. And we are still searching to see if there are still people under the building.
The vice president arrived at the venue of the building collapse sometime in the evening, expressing dismay over the tragedy, commiserating with the families affected, and committing to ensuring rescue efforts continue.
As far as the whole process of ensuring that those who may be trapped under this collapsed building, the whole process of ensuring that they are rescued is well underway. As you can see, all of the emergency equipment are here, the earth movers and all the equipment that are required are here. And I think that there is enough for us to expect that this should at least end in our being able to rescue anyone who may still be trapped in this building.
The rescue efforts continue way into the night, as onlookers, with each item of clothing found, hope that a body has been found. Speculations are rife regarding the cause of the collapse, one of which is that an integrity test was not carried out before construction continued after the building was abandoned for many years.
The structure is a three-story building. It's a frame structure. It's been going on for, from the speculative releases that we got, it's been going on for like 15 years. Those are the information we gather from the neighbors. Only this morning they begin to have some sounds, and invariably the thing came down.
Standing here, it's been a very emotional moment. Every time we find an item of clothing, a pair of slippers, there's also hope that somebody has been found dead or alive. But so far, nothing has been found. As dawn breaks, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency addresses the press. And in his statement, he confirms the death of one person, states that another is critically ill, and that 5 others were rescued as the operation comes to a close. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has suspended the River State by-elections till further notice due to widespread violence and malpractices. The election, which recorded a high turnout of voters, also had reports of alleged ballot box snatching, with shooting around at the George area of the state capital. The police anti-riot vans were also seen dispersing a crowd of restive youths with tear gas canisters. INEC says that the election, which started peacefully in all the polling booths, was stopped midway after hoodlums allegedly accompanied by heavily armed security personnel stormed various polling booths, disrupting voting and carting away election materials, including card readers and ballot boxes. They alleged that INEC officials were manhandled. Voting had closed since 3 p.m, while counting of ballot papers had started before the unrest got out of hand. The by-elections was conducted to fill a vacant seat in the River State House of Assembly, and that is the Port Harcourt Constituency 3. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, is asking Nigerians to join the government in ensuring peace in the country. Mr. Mustafa, who alleges that politicians are arming groups ahead of the elections, said it is up to citizens to back the government to secure the country. He also observed that the electoral process has improved and can only get better with the present administration. The SGF was speaking at a breakfast meeting with businessmen in Abuja.
Ethnic militias are busy arming themselves. So everybody is building his own army. Government alone cannot shoulder the responsibility. It's his primary responsibility. But the citizens have a major role to play in securing peace in this nation. Government can have legislations, but if the ethnic groups decide to build their own militias, or politicians believe that they need an army to win election, all of you come from different constituencies here. You know that until now, things are changing with the improvement in the electoral processes. But in the past, early in the morning, somebody will just come out with one rifle and shoot down in the air. Everybody takes cover, and then he packs all the electoral material and arrives there. Because that's what we want. There are constituencies where you never voted. So you see, it's a collective responsibility.
When the News at 10 returns, China announces plans to expand its investment in critical areas of Nigeria's economy to boost bilateral relations. That's on Business News. Join us again.